this episode. With a royal visit imminent, it's judgment day for Miles and Concourse D.
Seeing what I'm seeing now, my worries are going through the roof.
Hassan catches a passenger with a massive haul of illegal prescription drugs.
My worst nightmare of this is enter our country because this can cause death. Okay.
And Nigel sweats a multi-million-dollar cash cargo.
For any delay with 20 million, I would definitely be into a big...
Dubai International Airport, the busiest global hub on the planet. Staying on top takes a crack team.
No one else in the world is doing it, but everybody else in the world is watching us.
We have births, we have deaths, the whole spiel.
It is very dangerous because it can explode any time.
This concourse will help Dubai Airports stay number one.
It's the job of 90,000 staff from all over the world to make this the ultimate airport. Dubai may be the world's busiest international hub, but its global ambitions don't stop there. It's aiming to hit 100 million passengers a year. That means an urgent need for more space. It also means more pressure on every part of the operation. With up to 8,000 passengers flooding in every hour, keeping on top of what's coming through the airport is a big concern for customs. Today, two bags in particular have caught the attention of Customs Officer Hassan Ibrahim. The high-resolution X-ray shows organic material as orange, which can indicate drugs, but it's the density of the contents that triggers Hassan's suspicions.
Excuse me, can I see your passport?
The passenger is in transit to Sri Lanka.
I need these bags for check. We're not there in the X-ray machine. There's density in his bag. Maybe it's a kind of medicine or something. And the image we saw, it's showing that he have a big quantity. Something legal or something illegal.
Hassan checks the first of the man's two bags.
क्या है?
ये फेस वॉश है।
आपके पास कुछ डिक्लेयर करता है? अगर आपके कुछ सामान है?
कॉस्मेटिक फेस वॉश।
Cosmetic face wash. सिर्फ ये?
All. One day Dubai stay and tomorrow Sri Lanka.
Go to Sri Lanka. Yeah, it's like shampoo or something as a cream.
But the fact the man didn't declare the goods to customs on arrival, along with the sheer volume, sets off Hassan's alarm bells.
Just the cream tubes is above 500, 600 pieces. It's a trade quantity. ये बेचने के लिए तुम लाया? बेचने के लिए?
Sale करने के लिए.
Okay, so he's trading in this kind of cream.
To bring these goods into Dubai for sale, customs need paperwork confirming their origin and ingredients.
आपके पास कुछ पेपर है इसका लिए? Invoice, paper, packing list, letter, कुछ है?
No.
कुछ नहीं है. कुछ नहीं है.
Without the import paperwork, it's illegal to bring the cosmetics into Dubai.
Why shouldn't have any kind of official documents about these goods? The danger in this case that he's like a small trader and he have this quantity and we're not sure about the ingredients in these tubes. Maybe it is harmful. We have to check it.
With nothing to prove what's inside the 600 tubes, Hassan must investigate further to see if they're hiding more than just potentially dangerous ingredients.
I'm looking if there's any tube is different from the other. All the tubes are similar. It have only liquid in it and the same color. So everything is okay. There's nothing wrong with the tubes. Maybe only the ingredients.
But Hassan isn't done yet with the passenger's first bag.
I'm just checking to make sure that you have only these things. You don't have anything else. I am thinking there is something here. There's something at the bottom of the bags. I'm not sure what it is exactly.
Hassan discovers stacks of empty packaging.
ये किधर है ये? So, this package is for contraceptive injection, and this tube is for cream, and those not matching, it's different.
Hassan's priority is to find the injectable contraceptives that go with the packaging.
Yeah, it's a red flag. There's something. You should have injection, and we have to look for in the second bag. Okay.
Selling undocumented cosmetics is potentially dangerous, but injectable prescription drugs could be deadly.
If there's something wrong with it, it will affect the safety of the people. So for that, we are very careful about these things. और कुछ ज़्यादा है वला सिर्फ ये है?
Only
सिर्फ ये है?
yeah.
But with 15 years' experience, Hassan's instinct tells him there is more to find.
Hello, Mel speaking.
In Concourse B, a passenger has been intercepted by staff. Mel Sabawal has been alerted about a man refused boarding on the Pakistan flight.
Just been informed that we've got a passenger travelling to Islamabad that is intoxicated at the gate, in addition to which he's holding 3 passports. 1 belongs to him, 2 of them don't belong to him. When we have situations whereby passengers are carrying more than 1 passport, it's always suspicious. Until we get there, we don't really know what the situation is.
Mel's first step is to find out exactly what's happened from the gate supervisor.
Sweetheart, did he present his passports when he came here? No. Tell me what happened.
We stopped him because the way he was walking, so we doubted of him being intoxicated. Once I asked him to come outside, he said that, "Are you stopping me because of these 2 passports?" So he never presented the passports to me or the staff. So
Okay.
which made it-
Is there a possibility that he's possibly a little bit confused?
Could be.
Did you smell any alcohol
Yes,
in it?
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mel now needs to get the passenger's side of the story. Why does this US citizen have 2 Mexican passports? Using someone else's passport is illegal and could land him in jail.
You came in from San Francisco,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
You went through the security machine.
Yeah.
Okay. When you went through the security machine, you picked up your baggage, and then you picked up these passports. Did you realize that you'd picked up 3 passports?
No.
The gentleman is suggesting that he picked up the passports in error as he was going through the security machines. Let me explain to you why you were refused from travel today. You had the 3 passports. Now, the information I've got from the gate teams here is that the only reason that the passports were given over was when we stopped you and asked you, "Are you okay?" All right, so it wasn't that you initially came here and said, "I've got these passports." And that's where the suspicion comes in.
I never do this kind of
Okay.
thing. How I can change somebody's passport?
No, we're not making you guilty, sir. At this stage, we have to try and investigate. See,
No, but-
if you're carrying 3 passports,
But-
we need to understand why.
Yeah.
It isn't just possible criminal intent with the passports that Mel needs to investigate.
When you came in from your flight,
Yeah.
did you have any alcohol on board the flight?
No, I never. I am sick. I am diabetic person. So I'm kind of nervous that
Sure.
if I miss the flight,
Mel has yet to determine if the man picked up the Mexican passports by mistake in security, as he claims, or if he stole them. But she needs to tread carefully. He smells of alcohol and is slurring his words, but it doesn't mean he's drunk.
Are you on medication at the moment?
yeah,
Quite a lot of medication?
yeah.
The man has already told Mel that he's diabetic. If insulin levels aren't controlled, a chemical reaction is triggered, with symptoms including drowsiness and breath smelling of alcohol.
Okay. When was the last time you had your medication?
Medication, when last night in airport, I not inject myself. But right now, little later, I will test.
Okay, well, I can get that tested for you now.
Yeah.
Would you like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
But before Mel can investigate further on whether or not the passenger picked up the passports by mistake, she wants paramedics to check him over.
His sugar levels are a little bit high, not too much of a concern, but he does need to have some insulin at this stage.
Mel still needs to decide if the passenger is telling the truth.
Attention transfer desk teams, if anybody reports a missing passport for a mother and child, Mexican passports, please alert.
Mel urgently needs to track down the owners of the passports to corroborate the man's story. But there's no guarantee the two passengers are in Dubai.
Might be in the United States, they might be here. If they're not on the same flight as him, then it literally is a needle in a haystack situation.
In customs, having discovered the empty packaging for injectable prescription drugs, it's the missing drug itself which is now the urgent focus of Hassan's search.
Beauty cream.
The trader's second bag is stuffed with boxes that say they contain cosmetics.
There's something wrong with this. It's a beauty cream, but what's contains different. Okay, so here's the injection.
The injectable drugs are hidden inside cosmetics boxes and match the empty packaging Hassan found earlier.
Yeah, it is a contraceptive injection. So these are matching the packages that I found it earlier. It's the same. As you can see, it's full of injections. It's a way for smuggling things.
Hassan is now more determined than ever to get the full story from the cosmetics trader.
Okay, कैसे नहीं मालूम ये कैसे नहीं जानता ये क्या अंदर है? Okay, क्यों ऐसा छुपाया? Asking about the injection and why he didn't declare from the beginning, so he didn't give me any answer.
It's illegal to bring injectable contraceptives into Dubai for sale without import paperwork detailing the product's origin and ingredients.
He completely ignored all the right procedures, and he doesn't have any kind of documents, and he's not authorized to carry this kind of medication, and he did it and he broke all the law.
Worse still, Hassan believes these prescription drugs were destined to be sold in Dubai under the counter.
I believe he was intending to sell these drugs in our black market.
And if the contents of the bottles prove to be fake, they could be as lethal as any hard drug.
It will be my worst nightmare if one of these enter our country, because it can cause death, you know.
The smuggled bottles of injectable prescription drugs are seized, along with the 600 tubes of undocumented cosmetics.
We're not sure about the ingredients inside this injection, so we have to send these to the Ministry of Health to be checked.
It's only when they tally up the bottles of injectable drugs that they realize the scale of the catch. The total haul is staggering. 2,000 bottles of undeclared and undocumented prescription drugs.
He was taking a big risk. Our job here to stop these kind of things to enter our country in a legal way.
If the trader provides the import paperwork needed, the drugs are not illegal, and he can bring them into Dubai.
You have to bring it, otherwise it will be destroyed.
Hassan's intervention has stopped thousands of potentially dangerous prescription drugs flooding the market.
It was possibly that 2,000 people who's living in our country to be harmful with this kind of medicines, fake medicine maybe. It's a big bust.
In Concourse B, Mel is taking the passenger found carrying 2 passports that don't belong to him to her office. He isn't going anywhere until she has more evidence to back up his story that he picked up the 2 Mexican passports by mistake.
I wanted to check the inbound flight details from San Francisco, and I found exactly the same names that have travelled from that flight for the 2 passports that the gentleman was in possession of. So that's one mystery solved. It validates Mr. explanation that he picked them up.
This isn't the first time Mel has heard of passengers mistakenly picking up passports that don't belong to them.
It seems feasible. It does happen. We do get passengers picking up their items very quickly, and then they've obviously got a connecting flight to connect onto, so they're in a rush.
Mel is now satisfied with the man's story and books him on the next flight to Islamabad.
Now the next hurdle is to try and find these passengers. It looks like they are supposed to be entering into Dubai. We might catch them in the immigration because obviously they cannot enter without any travel documents. Hello?
Mel doesn't have to wait long for news.
Where are they? Oh, brilliant. Okay, all right. I'm on my way. Yeah. Bye.
The passport's owners, a mother and her young son, have been stranded in immigration since the San Francisco flight landed 3 hours ago.
I've got the 2 passports in hand. We're almost there. I'm sure they're pretty worried. Carla? Carla? And Patrice?
Patricio. Thanks, love. God bless you.
You know what happened?
No?
They were in the screening trays. You know when you go through security? They were in the tray.
Really?
Yes, and somebody by mistake picked them up.
Okay. Oof.
Okay, so always, always keep it with you.
Yes, thank you. So I was very I'm very grateful.
She's on her way now, absolutely ecstatic that we've managed to get the passports to her. Great feeling.
And the other passenger, now vindicated, finally jets off to Islamabad.
A little bit of an unusual situation, and of course we just need to sometimes try and get those jigsaw pieces in place and make sure that we get the right outcome.
In the race to increase capacity to 100 million passengers a year, Dubai has invested in a $1 billion extension to Terminal 1. After 3.5 years and 50 million man-hours, the 1.6 million square foot Concourse D and mile-long rail link are finished. Now, Concourse D faces the ultimate test.
Today is the day, the most important day. This is the handover.
Today, Concourse D is scheduled to be completed and handed over by engineering projects to the airport. But only if it gets the royal seal of approval from the owner of Dubai Airports, His Royal Highness Sheikh Ahmed Al Maktoum.
Worst case scenario is if he's not happy with what we've done here, it's going to be a huge problem for everyone. So we have to deliver 100%.
Miles must make a critical final check of the royal inspection route in Concourse D before the Sheikh arrives in 2 hours. Everything should be finished, but Miles is barely inside the building before he runs into chaos.
You can hear all this noise around, and it has to be like an operational airport. It has to be no construction.
In the atrium, the start point for the royal inspection, things are clearly behind schedule.
We're doing some last-minute cleaning, but this was here last night, and it was meant to be gone. But we've only got just over 2 hours before His Highness arrives, and having this here is not exactly expected, so we need to get it out quickly.
But the cherry picker isn't the only problem.
The biggest concern is what I can hear now is alarms because the doors are opening for contractors walking through.
It's the hordes of contractors triggering the door alarms, not the alarms themselves, that are the problem.
The whole idea is we construction complete. We're not here to come and make it look good. We want to make it operate.
Miles must clear the contractors and equipment out of Concourse D, or it'll be in no fit state for the royal inspection. A worried Miles summons his senior contract manager, Henk.
Come on. I'm just walking up to the information kiosk now. Can we meet up there? Yeah, all right. I'm 2 minutes away.
The kiosk is in the new APM station, which links Concourse D with Terminal 1 and is a crucial stop on the Sheikh's inspection route. But Miles is confronted with more contractors behind schedule.
Yesterday we had the problem of this information kiosk which wasn't finished, and this is what I can hear grinding away.
The building's 7 electronic information kiosks will be vital to help up to 200,000 passengers a day navigate between the station and the 32 gates. But this one is still in bits.
Look, we're meant to have a touchscreen panel here. The power was meant to be connected up. Yeah, I mean, we're expecting blue lights, information kiosk. We're expecting the floor to be in. So this is going to stand out here like a sore thumb if it's just left like this.
With less than 2 hours until the Sheikh arrives, Henk must come up with a quick fix, and fast.
I think the only thing that we can do is just finish on the timing.
No, I want to put a screen in there. We got to dress it up.
Disappointing his royal client on handover day doesn't bear thinking about. Miles's job could be at stake. He's the man who'll be responsible for any failure.
I'm not happy about this one at all. Okay, guys, come on. Bring the material. Bring it in. Can we get these signs up as well?
Yeah, but they're working on it, so...
This blue sign is really key because no one will know what that is. That's why we need to see what it is.
Miles is forced to make the best of a bad situation with some hasty cosmetic set dressing.
We'll get the screens put in, but again, they're not going to power them up, which is disappointing because with the map of the building, it looks really quite impressive. So, unfortunately, this one's not going to make it. And I'm yet to walk the rest of the area.
He can't afford to find any more problems, or the building won't get royal approval.
This has got to be cleaned up. They've just put grease on here.
Even the smallest of unfinished details is now racking up Miles's stress levels.
Oh, gee. So you got 5 clocks there from around the world. If they all read at the same time, it's such an obvious failure. It's a detail that can't be missed. Seeing what I'm seeing now, my worries are going through the roof, and we need to quickly address these things.
With time running out, Miles heads to the next planned stop on the Sheikh's inspection. One of the 37 restaurants. But the reality of what lies ahead is grim.
I can see no lights on. I can see the bar top is not done. Well, there's no furniture in here. We are less than an hour away, and this does not look like a finished restaurant.
Miles must now consider how best to salvage the situation. Should he take the unfinished restaurant off the Sheikh's inspection route?
There's no point bringing him here to see a half-open restaurant. There's wires hanging out. It doesn't take a brain surgeon to see that this is not ready at all. This is embarrassing. There's no way they can pull it off now. So I think we'll have to bypass this part on the wall.
Downstairs, Dubai Airport's CEO, Paul Griffiths, is preparing for the Sheikh's arrival.
This is a very significant day for Dubai because Sheikh Ahmed is coming to inspect Concourse D for the first time. Obviously, this is a pivotal moment, and it's no formality.
With an unfinished restaurant and half-built station kiosk, the concourse is now at real risk of failing to get royal approval. The chances of Miles handing over a finished building today are fast slipping away.
At the end of the day, we don't try and achieve below average. It has to be finished and above average, and it's just not done, right? So it's a failure.
Go ahead.
Out on the ramps, the next 2 flights for Nigel Fernandez are the kind every dispatcher dreads.
Oh, it's going to be hell.
$20 million cash is being shipped on the next flight to Heathrow. A high-stakes, busy departure that's notorious for having problems on the ramp.
We have 499 passengers with 584 bags. Now that's a lot of bags. Not to mention, we have $20 million being transferred on this flight.
But first, Nigel must deal with the Hong Kong flight.
Come on.
It's waiting for one of the most time-critical items any airline can transport.
Now if I go through this manifest, I can see one particular one, human eyes. Wow.
The eyes are from Sri Lanka, and it's crucial Nigel gets the temperature-controlled box on board without delay.
I don't want any mishaps. I don't want it to slip out of my hand. I'm going to make sure I personally hand it over to the purser to make sure it is loaded safely into her cabinet. Lisa, can you take care of this human eyes, please? It's actually very common on Emirates. Every other flight with a lot of live organs being transported. Mostly it is eyes which are donated. Puppet, you're okay to close?
The Hong Kong flight is dispatched on time. But Nigel can't take his eye off the ball. His next time-critical cargo, the $20 million, must make it onto the Heathrow flight.
Not a normal flight for anybody. Extra pressure on us to make sure it goes on time.
Even in an age of electronic transactions, cash in the billions, often dollars, is shipped around the globe. The $20 million for Nizel's Heathrow flight is stored at the airport in one of the most secure buildings in the United Arab Emirates. From here, Emirates Group Security can process and ship up to $1 billion hard cash every day.
We are at the cash center, Dubai Airport, and we process cash for banks throughout the world. We segregate into different denominations and we pack it for further shipment to their central bank and Federal Reserve.
Manu has just 60 minutes to get the $20 million counted, packed, and on the way to Nizel on the ramps.
Turnaround time is very critical. We have to meet those deadlines and the shipment needs to be out latest within 1 hour.
They can't risk dispatching any cash late. Currency markets fluctuate minute by minute, so if a cash shipment misses a flight, the delay could translate into a huge financial loss for a client.
The time is critical because the cash that we process has to reach a particular destination because any delay will impact the customer.
The $20 million for the Heathrow flight is being counted and sorted by the world's biggest cash processing machine.
It costs around $2 million and it processes 80,000 banknotes per hour and 1,800 notes per minute.
Despite the time pressure, all notes must be checked. This machine identifies around $20,000 worth of fake notes every year.
If you see these counterfeits, these are very good quality, and there is one note which is real from one side and fake from another side. They have actually cut this into two. From one real note, they managed to make two counterfeits. One side original, other side counterfeit. Now, since we are running short of time and within half an hour, we need to move all the entire money, so we have to bundle it and send it out to aircraft.
The $20 million has been rushed to the vault for packing. Every move is scrutinized by CCTV cameras, just in case anyone is tempted to swap out a bundle of cash from the bags.
These cameras are 24/7 monitored under our control room, and the process is being watched and monitored. Both the sides of the bundles are shown under the camera. That ensures the real denomination is going into the bag.
Even after working here 8 years, the vault still retains the wow factor for Manu.
This room is incredible, and each rack contains 1,200 such bundles. That contains 1,000 notes each. The value of cash over here is mind-blowing. In my hand is over $1 million, which is incredible.
Manu's team have just 10 minutes to finish packing the $20 million shipment if it's to get to the ramp in time.
I hope everything is ready.
If the cash misses the Heathrow flight, the airline will be stung with a hefty financial penalty.
Now we need to dispatch this to the van. If we don't meet the departure time, where the cash has to be reached to the destination, we get heavily fined for those delays. Guys, please make it fast. Getting late.
Only one.
On the ramps, Nizel is on standby, waiting for the armoured truck.
So come on, boys. Let's move.
He must get the cash away on this slot-critical flight on time, or the airline risks a second fine for late arrival at Heathrow.
Any delay at Heathrow Airport, Emirates is fined heavily. And it will be twice the fine because we have the money not been delivered on time. Now this is getting very critical for me.
And already, EK3 to Heathrow is living up to its troublesome reputation.
How many missing? Which one? Tell me. I'm missing a lot of cargo units. It's not a good start.
With 14 tons of cargo still to load, along with the mega cash shipment, EK3 is shaping up to be Nizel's worst nightmare.
For any delay, and especially on a delay on an EK3 with 20 million, I would definitely be into a big...
The $20 million cash arrives on the ramp for Nizel's time-critical Heathrow flight.
I need to make sure they have the necessary paperwork for transporting the $20 million. The consignment number is what we are expecting on the flight. Make sure the boxes are locked with a secure code, and only then we can load them onto the aircraft. All right, we have total of 10 bags, correct. You want to show me the seals?
The cash boxes are secured with tamper-proof security seals.
2 boxes, you have it.
and tagged with a consignment number which Nigel must check to ensure it matches the paperwork.
All right, 350 and 421. All right, that looks good. You can close it. You want to take it there now so that we can load it up. Yeah, all good. Go ahead.
$20 million cash slides into the A380's hold. The notes won't be seen again until the client in London breaks open the security seals.
Okay, boss. Thank you very much for your help.
But there's no guarantee the cash will leave on time. 24 minutes before departure, containers with the 584 passenger bags are yet to be loaded.
We are now 24 minutes to departure, and we are looking on a critical side where we need to load all of these containers. All of these containers need to be loaded onto the aircraft, so it's looking very, very tight.
Then, bad news from the gate.
Offload.
Nigel must offload bags for one of the 499 passengers.
I'm in the process of offloading bags for a passenger whose visa is not valid to go to UK. Now we got 2 bags off. I need to check that. I've got now 2 tags. I need to tally here. 811626, 811266, 811625, 811624. Those are our bags. We're good to offload them. Okay. It's done.
20 minutes until this slot-critical Heathrow flight must depart.
You take it.
It's all hands on deck.
You take this, I'll push. Go. All right, scanning.
5 minutes to departure and the last 2 passengers finally board.
Okay to close. Thank you. Bye-bye.
498 passengers and $20 million cash. Pushback for the 7.5-hour flight to Heathrow, with 1 minute to spare.
We have made it on time. On schedule, thank God.
It's judgment day for Miles and Concourse D. In 60 minutes, the building will be inspected by the owner of Dubai Airports, His Royal Highness Sheikh Ahmed Al Maktoum.
Ultimately, if you've invested billions of dollars into a project and you're coming in here to see it for the first time and looking at it complete, you would expect it to be A1. You would not expect anything less.
But right now, parts of the inspection route are still construction sites, although the unfinished restaurant is finally a hive of activity. Is it too little, too late for a frustrated Miles?
You're still bringing furniture in?
Yes, unfortunately. It came in last night, but unfortunately it wasn't actually brought up until it was delayed down there, so we're just...
You genuinely think you can get it done in time?
Yes, we can get it done in time. We'll be ready.
Miles can only hope that they can shift 60 pieces of missing furniture in less than an hour. Otherwise, it'll be the latest in a series of embarrassments.
Oh, I'm not convinced that they can do it, to be honest.
Things perfectly straight, yeah? There's more. We can all go back. Go on.
There's better news back at the APM station, where contractors have managed to wire up part of the information kiosk.
Ah, the lights are on. Look at that. That's good news, right? They've just put the power on for the lights, which is fantastic. Miracles happen, right?
Along with the kiosk, one of the multi-million-dollar trains must be ready at the platform for the Sheikh to inspect. It also needs to be fully operational should the royal entourage decide to use it to get back to Terminal 1.
We know it's a very tight schedule, so we're going to offer the trip in the train.
But 30 minutes before the Sheikh arrives, train contractors are still running tests, and they've just diagnosed a problem. A fault with a sensor controlling the opening of the train doors.
We have a few glitches on the system. We just have to run it a couple of times to just get it cleared out. Train's on its way back now. Fingers crossed, all is good.
If the door fault isn't fixed, the train will be off limits to the Sheikh. Another potential toe-curling moment for Miles in a building that's scheduled to be finished and handed over today.
Train is arriving. Please stand clear.
The team wait anxiously to see if the train door sensor has reset. It's partially worked, but now the platform doors aren't opening. And Miles' problems don't end on the platform. The odds of getting the information kiosk working are now stacked against him.
No, we can't make it. We won't make it. We're running out of time. Can't have the VIP visit like this.
Despite Henk overseeing teams of contractors to get the lighting for the kiosk working,
Time is ticking and we can't change the clock. We can't turn it back.
with less than 10 minutes until the Sheikh arrives, they've now run out of time to fit the electronic information screens.
Yeah, it's disappointing, to be honest. Clean it up. We're going to have to put blank panels where the screens are meant to go. They've got the lights working, but at the end of the day, it's a shame. Too little, too late, right?
Time's up. It's high noon for Miles. Downstairs, Paul Griffiths is off to meet the Sheikh. Over the next 30 minutes, one of the most powerful men in the United Arab Emirates, His Royal Highness Sheikh Ahmed Al Maktoum, will inspect Concourse D. And he's a stickler for detail.
He's very hands-on. He's the key decision maker here in Dubai. And if there's something he doesn't like, we'll have to fix it, that's for sure.
As Miles's boss, Suzanne Al-Anani is only too aware if things go badly, jobs are on the line.
His Highness wants all of us to deliver. We must deliver because there is no room for having a second go at it. If we don't deliver, there are a lot of repercussions.
At Concourse D, Miles's fate hangs in the balance. His Royal Highness Sheikh Ahmed Al Maktoum, owner of Dubai Airports and Emirates Airline, is starting his make-or-break inspection. With jobs on the line, the stakes couldn't be higher.
From the minute he walks into this building on the apron level, from the minute he walks out, he's got to be happy, and this is what it's all about. We need to make him happy, and overall, it's his building.
The royal seal of approval is critical today if Dubai International is to achieve its ambition of reaching 100 million passengers a year. Failure to meet that ambition is not an option.
There is no impossible. There is no I cannot do. We have to do it. There is no place for failures in Dubai.
For the next 30 minutes, Miles can only hope the inspection runs its course without incident. The royal entourage heads over to the gates which will service 100 airlines and 18 million new passengers.
It's been pretty nerve-wracking, but I think so far so good.
All right, this one, open lounge.
5 minutes in, a heart-stopping moment for Miles. An alarm triggers. Thankfully, it's not a fire alarm, but a door alarm working normally as the inspection crosses secure areas.
Yeah, unfortunately, with the sequences, because we've gone between arrivals and departures, the alarms will go off, so it's something we can't stop.
The royal inspection continues its relentless march through Concourse D into the new train station and past the half-built information kiosk. Suzanne keeps the Sheikh's attention on one of the station's new multi-million-dollar trains.
You have arriving and transferring within the building, and you have arriving and going to T1.
The royal entourage presses on to the last stop on the inspection route. So far, Miles's luck is holding out.
That did very well. They didn't notice the kiosk, which is fantastic.
But with 7 minutes to go, he isn't out of the woods yet.
We've only got the last stretch to go, and fingers crossed.
Just ahead lies his other major concern, the unfinished restaurant.
Hi, guys. Anything cooking?
To Miles's relief, the team have managed to pull it out of the bag and install the missing furniture.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the airport. You have to be customer friendly.
The 30-minute inspection ends back downstairs in the main atrium. His Royal Highness Sheikh Ahmed must now decide if Concourse D gets his seal of approval.
Well, I'm happy, you know, with the team and the work. We're always number one.
Always, always, always.
Always. We have to keep it up there all the time.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
For Miles, today's success is the culmination of 3.5 years hard graft on Concourse D.
I was very worried in certain areas, but it's a great feeling. Ultimately, His Highness and the big boss of us is happy. Today is the highlight of my career. I think job well done.
Yeah, I'd like to thank everybody, thank all the teams. You know, guys, you've done a good job.
Yeah, really.
Wonderful job. Thank you.
A yes from the Sheikh means the newly completed Concourse D now puts Dubai International on track to achieve its ambition of reaching 100 million passengers a year.
This is an incredibly important step in the development of Dubai Airport. We've got the thumbs up for Concourse D, but my head's already around the next challenge, and that is how are we going to get this airport to 100 million?